friends, your furry besties are back for another episode of No Ma'am. I'm Will, and I'm joined by my podcast co-host in chaos,
Giovanni. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of No Ma'am.
All right, friends, today we are recapping Canada's Drag Race Season 6, Episode 2. The premise of this episode was an acting challenge. They were broken up into 3 groups, and each of the groups had a different commercial to sell. And I thought, as a whole, I really enjoyed the episode. So far, Episode 1 and Episode 2, it is bringing me some necessary drama that I need. The energy is good. It feels fresh. The editing feels good. I don't know, maybe it was coming off of a lackluster season that we just needed something really refreshing.
Mm-hmm. And something that highlights people of color.
Well, yeah, like that piece. And a little bit of microaggressions that's happening in the episode. But hey, so that brings me to my first topic of discussion is, so last episode we talked about Van Gogh and Dulce. Mm-hmm. And how we can perceive that there was some microaggressions in the episode, especially towards, those two, from Van Gogh to Dulce. And then this episode, it started off bringing some of those microaggressions into the episode with an attempt to apologize, and Van Gogh mispronouncing Dulce's name. And I wanted to hear your thoughts on it because I knew that you would have thoughts. So I'm opening it up.
When that happened, I literally had to pause it and catch my breath. So many thoughts came into my head. Growing up, my name's Johnny. People couldn't pronounce it. I have been called every which way except my name for years. And it got to the point where I used to tell people, just call me anything. I don't care. But no, you should be able to pronounce my name. It's not difficult. It's not hard. My name is Joanny. It is what it is. You need to be able to say that. Same for Dulce. Her name is not difficult. You've known this girl for years, allegedly, apparently, because you've been talking about her for years, but you can't pronounce her name properly. Again, a name that is so simple. It's not difficult. It's 2 syllables. It just felt, like you said, very it definitely felt like a microaggression. It's something that I know people of color and Latinos especially experience every day, their names being mispronounced or changed in order to fit a narrative. It just left all the thoughts I had about Van Gogh the past episode, I was trying to get over, be it was just episode 1, it was probably the edit. As soon as that happened, I'm like, oh, I'm over this bitch.
Yeah, that, and I think it's different because we are 2 people of color doing a podcast that talks about Drag Race that historically does not really represent our communities in the best of light, right? And so we have a different perspective on this because I was, obviously, when we talked about episode 1, we got good reception for our episode 1 recap and review. So shout out to the people who was like, yes, we agree, all the likes that we got on that episode. And then on the other hand, I'm seeing a lot of people who think that what Van Gogh is doing is amazing and she's brilliant and she can't do any wrong. But I'm not faulting those opinions because at the end of the day, lived experiences that we have felt, they won't. And so I get that. I just think this moment, it might have been not have been big for someone who has never had to worry about their name being mispronounced. So to anyone else, it probably is not significant. But to your point, being your name is simple. When you told me, I was like, oh, that's easy, super easy. The fact that people make the choice not to pronounce it correctly is a choice. But it brings me to something that I have dealt with, is where my mom said that she named me Will or William because she didn't want people to stereotype me, to think that I was too ghetto or I was too hood, and then for me to be able to get a job. And I think names are so important for people who look like us because they tell a story, they represent our cultures, they tell us who we were, what we've been, our lived experiences. So that, to me, I paused the television and I was like, yeah, this is not really helping the situation. This is a continuation from the first episode.
And it was the way, obviously, Dulce corrected her politely. She didn't yell back on it. And then she kind of, again, just brushed it over. Oh, yeah, Dulce, whatever. No, girl, it's not whatever. Listen to her. This is the second time. In the same day, actually. Do something.
Yeah. But again, right, I don't fault Van Gogh with the ignorance that was portrayed because she does not have to deal with that on a daily basis. So to her, that's something is obsolete. Is it right? Absolutely not.
Do you think that excuses it though?
No, it doesn't. I don't think I would be able to excuse that behavior, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't fault her for the ignorance because I don't think
Okay.
that people who have not lived the experiences that we have, they are not from a marginalized community. They don't know. They try, right? They've tried it, and we've seen it happen on UK. I bring that conversation when Tayrus, she didn't want to be the angry black woman when she
Mm-hmm.
was doing like when she was
Mm-hmm.
picking roles. It's the same thing here. If the shoe was on the other foot and Dulce was mispronouncing Van Gogh's name incorrectly, there will be more fight to it. It will be more
Mm-hmm.
drama. It will be more of a storyline. There will be more effort put into that. But
Mm-hmm.
we're not, and I don't, it's unfortunate that we always have to have these conversations, but I think you and I are going to be the only two that will bring it up because it is part of our lived experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can bring a different perspective to recapping the show than I don't think these other podcasters do.
Mm, yeah. And I mean, that's the reason why we kind of started this in the first place, for moments like this.
Right. And I think it's great that we can actually just deep dive and and go through like a history lesson of why this is important to have and why this conversation is necessary, especially in
Mm-hmm.
this political climate. The same thing that's happening in the United States is sort of happening in Canada.
Yeah,
It's not just
I was last episode when they were talking about it, like I was honestly kind of shocked because obviously, you and I were used to hearing this every fucking day
Yeah.
because we live in the US, we live in New York. This is all it feels like it's all we've been consuming for the last, honestly, like few years, like just all this divisiveness. But then, like, when I was watching the episode and they started talking about it and everything that's going on over there too, it very much felt like I was kind of watching like American Drag Race. I'm like I literally had to like just rewind from it and be like, wait, no, this is Canada's Drag Race. And then I think it was Van Gogh who brought it up. Like she was like, yeah, it's not just the US, it's happening here as well. Probably not to the same extent, but it's definitely happening there. And so many other places. So I think these are conversations that need to be had for everyone.
Yeah. But I would say that I do think it is a step in the right direction for Van Gogh and Dulce's relationship that Van Gogh said, please check me if I'm saying things incorrectly, if I'm saying things inappropriately, do let me know. And you see that play out throughout the episode. I just think Van Gogh's issue that I think that we're going to run into is that she is really opinionated.
She is, and there's nothing wrong with that.
But I also think the edit is going to make her seem very bitchy, and
yes.
I don't think that is how she wants to come across.
Yes, I think, I mean, like, shadiness comes with drag. We all know that, and I think she's definitely one of those queens who's probably like super cunty. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. She just, I just think it.
In the words of Paulo, she needs some healing.
Yes, she needs to be. I forgot what I was going to say. I forgot what I was going with, honestly. But
listen, in the words of the great Paulo Perfection, she needs some healing.
She needs some healing, y'all.
That's all we need. That's why we still needed Paulo, right? We do. We need her on this season. Okay. So, like I said in the beginning,
Wait, sorry, real quick. Paulo's Latina, right? No? Does she have Latina heritage in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Okay. Put her on Latino Royale.
Oh, I was like, I thought she was Brazilian. No?
Yeah, I was just making sure.
I think so.
Girl, there's a lot of queens. I lose track. But put her on Latino Royale.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Why not? We need her back on the TV show.
Yes.
So we see that the queens, what I love about this is that Carson Kressley came in and he's going to be a rotating judge on this season. So great job. We get some, crossover from the American seasons to the Canadian season. Love that. And he told them that they get to choose their groups. What I find to be really interesting is I didn't think that these were going to be the groups that the girls chose for themselves. Like, I love the different dynamics forming with them.
Yeah, I don't know what I was necessarily expecting, but when I saw the lineup, I was like, oh, that's okay. That's interesting. Work.
Right. Yeah. I like for group one up there, right? We have Van Gogh, there's Saltina Shaker, there's Velma Jones, and Sammy Landry. And honestly, I didn't expect that to be a group.
Yeah, like I think kind of for me though the sore thumb is obviously like Sammy, because like especially with like Saltina and Van Gogh, they're very polished, they're very all about the performance and the look. Sammy is kind of that, but like in the complete opposite way, where it's like campy and kind of poking fun at it. So that was definitely weird. But hey, I mean, it worked.
It did. But I also think that, and this is maybe just me being a little conspiracy theorist, but I just think that the girls gravitated to each other because they were in the top the first episode.
Probably. They were like,
I think it
hey,
was more of like an ego thing, like, oh, we're good. Let's just be in a group together because we're really good.
I can say that.
So, out of the three groups, which one was your favorite?
Definitely. What was it? The last one, the senior citizens one. What were they called again? I forgot. Uh,
SOS?
SOS.
Was it
What was
Seniors on
the
Sea?
cruise? Seniors on sea. Yes. I don't know. They obviously they seemed the most well put together. Like they worked well together. They had the most thought out idea, and it just felt the most natural. I don't know. Like it literally just felt like they knew what they wanted to do. They went up there, they killed it, and that was it. Like it was like they do it every day.
Yeah, I also thought it was really great to see Dulce shine. I thought that was like, I thought she was so funny. But the titty shake, I lived for the titty shake.
I lived. For me, this was Dulce's episode, which was very much needed after what happened last episode. She was so confident. She looked beautiful while she was doing the challenge. She ate the girls up. I think she performed the best out of all 12 girls. And honestly, not to be shady, but it was just not what I was expecting. And it was a very lovely surprise to see her dominate.
Yeah, what I think is going to be Dulce's downfall is going to be her runways. I don't think her runways, and we've seen it in the first two episodes, I don't think her runways are going to have as much maybe attention to details or like fully realized concepts like the other queens. And I think that may just be her downfall. But I don't think anything else is going to take her out. I think she's going to be a talented performer. I think she's going to be funny in the acting challenges because she showed us that, hey.
Yeah, it very much gave a very seasoned pro, honestly. Watching her do that commercial, I was like, ooh, she got this.
Yeah. And she has good airtime so far in the first two episodes. She's really good confessional moments. She had an amazing story that she told in the second episode when she got emotional and she told about her family and her family structure and why that's important and why that's shaped her drag. Right. So I'm loving the story arc. I'm loving the direction that we're getting. I think it's about time that we got a different perspective and like a different lived experience on Drag Race, especially in today's society. I think it's so important.
Yeah, I agree. Like that was a very heartfelt and honestly kind of difficult conversation to listen to. But it's something that people need to need to hear. And again, like I said, this very much felt like her episode, and it was just great to see her highlighted in different ways.
Yes. And then who I want to point out that I think was onto something but just wasn't being heard was Hazel. I think Hazel quickly identified that this is a sinking ship and we need not to make it sexy. And I just think they just did not listen to her. And guess what? That was the critique that they gave to the team. It's like, hi, this is very sexualized and this should not be this sexy.
You know what my favorite part about this whole episode actually was? Was seeing Carson like slowly get frustrated to the end. So the final group was SOS and they did the best and like they gave no issues whatsoever. But at that point you could see how frustrated he was with the other two groups, that he was just kind of like over them in general. He was just over the whole thing. But just watching that frustration grow and him be like, oh, like, y'all sure you want to do this? Like,
yeah,
I thought that was my favorite part.
So question, in the first group, Carson asked who created the storyboard. So Velma said she did everything.
Velma very much said she did everything.
Yes, but then said she didn't say that and she got lost in translation because she wasn't fully understanding. Do you think she knew what she was saying, but wanted Van Gogh to take out to get all the smoke?
All I'm gonna say is, to quote Jujubee, English as a second language, my ass.
That's what I said.
She knew exactly what she was doing. She said what she said and she meant it. Like, no, he clarified. First of all, they clarified several times. He was like, oh, so she just had the pencil, but you all contributed. And they were like, yes. And she's like, no, it was my ideas. So then he was like, so you came up with everything. And she was like, yes.
Right. And so that is when I was like, well, I appreciate Van Gogh standing their ground and saying, no. Like, we all did this together. This is a collective effort. You just happened to write all of it down. But these weren't just your, like, ideas. But in the true Van Gogh fashion and then the true Van Gogh edit, we're going to get it to come off a little more catty, a little bit more bitchy. But at that point, I agreed. I was on Van Gogh's side.
I was shook it, and I don't know how many times I'm going to say this, but I was on Van Gogh's side too. I was like, no, call the bitch out. And then she's backpedaling? Hell no. Also, who was it that said, oh, they're going to fight about this? Because that's literally what I was thinking in my head. I think was it Hazel? It might have been Hazel.
It
Who
might
said,
it was
"Oh,
either the second or third group that somebody from the second or third group that said, "Oh, they're
I'm
gonna fight
trying to
about
look at
this."
I think it. I think it was Hazel who said it. I was like, "Oh, they're gonna fight
It
about
might
this." I'm
have
like,
was
"Oh,
it Hazel to
yes,
like Ebony LaBelle? It might have been Hazel to Ebony LaBelle.
I
Like
think
they're gonna fight
so."
about this.
Yeah. And then they literally started fighting about it right
Uh
then and
huh.
there, like when they went to sit down. And she was like, "No,
Sure
no,
we
no, you
did.
could say that."
And Sultina was like, "Guys, we can talk about this later. Not right now."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, and Sammy just
Mm-hmm.
like,
I fucking love Sammy.
I freaking love Sammy. Love her. All right, so let's get into this category. So the category was Creatures of the Night, something about horror. It wasn't
Under the
Dark Days. It
covers,
was like
under.
it was something like What Goes Dark in the Night or something.
It was spooky
Anyways,
wooky.
it was. So up first we have Van Gogh. What do you think?
This was a yes, ma'am. I think it's very campy. It's very fun. I know I've given other queens like the costume critique before. I don't think this was that. I think she elevated it and she dragged it up enough where it became drag. I think she looked great.
Yeah, I mean, I gave this a yes, ma'am. Do I think it's scary enough or dark enough? No, I think there's still elements of like it being cute. I think it's because of the colors. I think the colors could have been maybe a different color to make it resonate with like horror to me or something more spooky. I think anytime you try to incorporate pink, I think pink always takes me into cool. It's cutesy. I don't know. Pink will never be scary to me. Like it would never invoke the emotion of terror.
I agree. That's kind of how I felt about the whole runway as a whole. Honestly, like I watched it through and I was like, none of them for me really fit the spooky category. And I was like, wait, this isn't Dragula. Gotta go
True.
back rewatch it with like a drag race lens and be like, okay, well they're not gonna go like full spooky. They're just gonna kind of brush upon it.
I mean, I think two of them did really well in terms of that aspect. But
yeah, but even then,
what,
it wasn't like
oh, it wasn't going to be horror. They wasn't going to be filth on the runway. Like no, they're not monsters. Right? No.
Very much.
And then what do you think of Saltina Shaker?
This was another yes man for me. I love the story behind this. Following her, this is something she's spoken about before, and it was very difficult for her to speak about it online. But I love that she gets to highlight it on the show and just kind of take her scars and make it into something beautiful.
I gave her a soft ma'am. They didn't really scream anything to me. I didn't think it was a bad look. I just thought it was very safe. I understand the story. I'm not going to take that away from her. I think the story is what elevated the look for me, in my opinion. But I just think overall, if she did not tell me the story, I would have thought this was a very safe look. And then the story of what happened and why the red is placed where it is, I think that's what elevates it. But without that, I wouldn't have known. And I'm just like, oh, I'm not really the headpiece and the dress telling me two different stories, and so that's why I gave it a soft man. But then once she spoke about the story, and I was like, oh well, yeah, because I have some scars that I'm ashamed of, and I want to hide, and all that stuff like that. So I get it. I think that story resonates with a lot of people. So, but I think it's just it's the unfortunate part of not being able to tell that story right away, especially when you turn the corner. Okay. Then we have Sammy Landry. What are we thinking?
This was no ma'am. I love Sammy. I don't like this outfit. That's all I'm saying because I like Sammy.
This is a no ma'am too. I didn't get it, but I love where her head is at. I think she is in a world of craziness that is really amazing to witness and be a part of. Just don't make no sense. And so because it don't make no sense, let's move on to Velma Jones. What did you think?
I'm very happy we got to see Johnny so early on. I honestly didn't think it was going to happen till like halfway through the season. But this, for me, was a yes, ma'am. Like a leather werewolf. I love it.
Yeah, I think Johnny Jones did really well. I am excited to see more of this Johnny Jones character. And I also give this a yes, ma'am, as well.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay. Then we have Stall Draw. What do you think?
She looked creepy in the face. It's just a simple bodysuit. Like I don't think it was. I think she could have done more with it because it really just does look like she painted a bodysuit to look like that, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but like drag it up a little bit.
Yeah, I gave her a soft ma'am for those same sentiments. I think the intention was good. I wanted more terrifying. So really just push the envelope. Maybe do full prosthetics like Vecna from Stranger Things. Like full body prosthetic. Like do something crazy. I think this is a fun category on the runway to do so.
Yes, exactly.
And then we have Dulce. What do you think?
This for me is a soft ma'am. Literally, every Mexican child knows the story of La Llorona because that's how they would get us to comply with anything, if they want to put you to sleep, if they want you to eat something, La Llorona's coming for you. So when she came out, like I got it, but it wasn't. I guess because I've been hearing it for so long, and obviously there's so many movies and references to it. Like it didn't necessarily scream that. Like I agreed with, I forgot who said it, but like I think
Brooklyn.
the dress just needed to be a little more like bridal, kind of a little bit more torn up. I think it was a little too glamorous. I really, really commend her for trying something different with the special effects. The execution wasn't quite there, but I think there was creativity and intention behind it, which was, I if it had been done properly, I think it really would have leveled the look up. Like you don't know, obviously the black tears coming out. I think it was a great idea, so I commend her for that. It just was a little wonky.
I gave Jules a sauce man. I like the intention of the look. I think the weeping woman it's a great concept. It's a great thing to do.
We don't you colonize like you don't know.
Yeah,
Weeping
the Weeping
woman.
Woman. I'm going to say it for the people for who don't know, but the Weeping Woman. I think it is such an amazing concept to do. I do agree with Brooklyn. It should have been bridal. I think bridal would have been like and tattered and torn. And I like the black tears. I just think that because we saw the tubing where the liquid was coming from, that's where it took us out of the fantasy.
And because it
And they
like
should and they yes, and then the freaking producers were and like I don't know, it's a really shady for like close up on her face when you can see the tube right by her eye. Like, why would you do that?
yeah. Yeah, like with this look, honestly, this look I wanted to be terrified by. Again, because growing up, this is something that terrified me. So the fact that didn't happen, but I still think she did a good job.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Then we have Maya Fox. What do you think?
No, ma'am. I couldn't see the face. I didn't understand it. I think it's a pretty look. I just didn't understand it at all. Like, and I know she said something about like the mirror, but like, why keep your face covered the whole time?
Maya Fox, I gave a no ma'am as well for that exact reason. I don't think it made sense for her to keep her face covered the whole entire runway.
Not at all.
I really want to see more Maya, but it is getting really to the point where I don't know who she is, and she's fading into the background for me, and that's never a good sign.
No, especially by episode 2. Like, yeah.
I get it. No one went home last episode, so we still have the same amount of queens. But yeah, she had 2 chances to pretty much step a pussy up, and right now it's just like Maya Fox, where are you? But cute look. The legs were great.
Oh yeah,
I was like, ooh. The body is bodying.
That could have been anyone behind there. We don't know.
It could have. It really could have. And then we have Caramilk. What do you think?
Speaking of stepping your pussy up, I love this. This is an over for me. I think this is how you do like a monster on Drag Race. It is very well executed. It's creepy. It's kind of high fashion, honestly. I love this. I think she looks great. I did not expect this from Caramilk.
Listen, Caramilk, this is an over. She had the best look of the night. This was amazing. The attention to detail is there. The execution is there. This doesn't look like a bodysuit. I can see some of the indentations. I can see the ripples. I can see where like the joints are and the muscles the right way. The makeup is great. Everything just looks great. The wings look expensive. It's a really great look. I don't know why. I'm not shocked because she is part of the House of Couture and they're gonna bring a look on the runway. But
I'm shocked on like the horror aspect of it because I didn't expect that from Caramel. Not on like the execution of a good outfit because that's obviously she's gonna eat the runway up. But this is better than half the shit the Dragula girls wore this season.
Child, wake it up. Okay. Then we have Paolo Perfeccion. What do you think?
I love Paolo. But no, ma'am. I think she looks really cute. I love that she was literally like pooping out trash on the runway and then the fucking baby comes out. I was like, oh, the horror. But yes, actually, hold up. Now that I said that, there is the horror of it because that is unfortunately reality in some cases. Meh.
I really like this. I'm gonna give it a soft ma'am because I really like the look. Is it stupid? Yes, and I think that's why I like it. Like, this is the only person I know that can make a trash bag look so sexy. Like, I was like, this is such a sexy look. From the wig choice to those long ass legs to her just dropping trash out of the trash bag to her then to give birth to the baby. Amazing. So good.
Also, I love that she couldn't even move her arms and she like stayed like that throughout until I love that.
Only Paolo can do that. Paolo, we need you on the pod just to like pick your brain on your thought process. So if you can talk to your PR team, we just need you to
Please.
come over to No Ma'am. Gorgeous. Those legs for days. Okay? Legs for fucking days. Legs. That's all I'm gonna say. The whole entire thing is legs. Okay. Next up, we have Hazel. What do you think?
This is a yes, ma'am. I think it's really well done. It's very tattered. I think she looked great.
Hazel got my second over. I love this. I love this look. I thought it was really great. I thought the intention was there. I see the concept. Hazel is doing it for me.
She now,
I'm excited.
Yes. in the very short time she had, she absolutely became one of my faves.
She's become one of my faves. But Hazel for sure. Like I have to give Hazel. Hazel is bringing a polish to the runway that I was not expecting, but I'm living for this. I love it. I love how tall she is. I love how Model S she is. I love her brain. I think she's bringing just amount of funny to seriousness to concept to polish to pageantry. I think Hazel is the package, and I love it. I'm living for it. Yeah. I want to get Haze still.
Next time, girl, just speak up. Speak louder.
I know. Yeah. Put your foot down.
Yeah. Fight these.
Next up, we have Ebony LaBelle. What do you think?
I love Ebony. I think she looks amazing. She looks beautiful. But like the girl said it herself, she was not doing no damn spooky ookie. Like that, you will never see her in that. So for me, this is a no ma'am.
I gave her a soft ma'am. I think she looks pretty. I understand the idea of the vampire. I think that's great. I mean, I just was getting distracted because her nude illusion made it seem like we can see her vagina.
I was confused a second. When she lifted it up, I was like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Right. I was like, are they showing her vagina? Like, I was like, is she naked? But I was like, I don't think that's the point. But then I realized it's a nude illusion. But right, hello. But the nude illusion was nude eluding, and I'm like, oh my god, this is great. But I get it. She's a sexy vampire. So regardless, Ebony was not going to come out looking spooky ooky. She can't. She's a pretty girl. It's not going to happen.
Exactly. She was like, I'm not about to let y'all see me ugly.
No, she's not doing that, which I don't blame her. And then last but not least, we have PM. What do you think?
This was my second over. I love this. I love the structure of this. I love the hands, the makeup, the two different colors. I love this.
Yeah, this is my third over. I enjoyed PM's look. I thought PM fit the category. This was what Creatures Under Your Bed. This is like something in a nightmare. It's like I think it's great. From the nails to the face. This is what I expect when I heard the category. I didn't expect anything less from PM. They're going to bring this level of whatever this is, this magic, like artistry, whatever kookiness that PM, like whatever this is, they're gonna bring it, and I'll live for it.
Whatever this is, I feel like is the best way to describe PM.
Like I don't know what it is, but whatever this is, I'm living.
Yeah, I don't understand what she's saying, but I'm living, girl.
Like shout out to Trinity the Tuck. All right, so we see that the winner of episode 2 is none other than Saltina Shaker. And honestly, I thought Dulce did better in the actual challenge than Saltina. But because Saltina had a better impactful runway look, plus her package in the commercial, I think that's what put her over the edge. But it wasn't... I would have given it to Dulce, honestly.
Regardless of the runway, I still would have given it to Dulce because I do think she performed. Saltina did not do bad. Well, there was just that moment when they started filming and, she was kind of like tripped up a little bit. Final product, I think, was good. I think just overall, when they were filming it, Dulce was so much better. For me, I would not have cut to the runway as much, but hey, I'm not the judge.
This is true. I think Saltina, in the grand scheme of things, did she bring the whole entire episode together? She did. Mm-hmm. But on the opposite side, we see the bottom two was Sammy Landry and Paulo Perfeccion, and they lip synced to a song that You thought it was sad?
Them being in the bottom? Yeah, these are two of my favorites.
Oh, okay.
Not the lip sync was sad. No, girl, that was not sad at all.
Oh, I was like, the lip sync was sad?
That's what we needed, though. Like, the two, like, kookiest, most delusional, most, like, I don't know what queens being in the bottom together. They were both doing their own, like, little delusion performance. I loved it.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about the lip sync, but that lip sync was something.
It was something. I mean, Sammy was, like doing her like trailer park white girl thing, cigarette mom. Like I thought it was great. Paolo was like, she was not performing the song. She was performing, but she was not performing the song. But I just feel like that would be Paolo in general. And I mean that like in a good way, like it's just who she is. But she was being sexy up there. She was showing her ass literally. I loved it.
Right. And then we see ultimately that Paolo Perfection is the pork chop queen of season 6.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the pork chop lounge.
That's so unfortunate.
Did you see Spock's her story on Instagram?
No.
She was like, Paolo, welcome to the pork chop lounge. She's like, we meet on Thursdays and there's snacks and refreshments.
I love that.
I was like, this is so cute. That was so cute. I was like, oh my god. Because she's the first pork chop of Canada.
I know. I mean, she's the official pork chop of Canada. The founding father of the pork chops of Canada.
This is true. And she will deadlift all of the pork chops.
Well, I was about to say, who are the other pork chops? Because, girl, I don't know. She might not be able to.
I think she'll still be able to deadlift them. I think she would. I think Juice Box will still be able to. One? Girl, you know how many seasons of Canada has been?
Yeah, 5. Literally, we're recapping them. Like 5.
I don't remember who the pork chops are. I have no idea.
Oh,
I forget.
So you're saying they're relevant? No,
I'm saying there's so many. I know so many recaps.
Listen, when the international seasons first started, I used to be able to name like all the queens and all the winners, like in order of when they were crowned. You ask me that now, I won't be able to name half of them.
Listen, I could code up with the American versions of Drag Race, and it's 17 of them.
I know all those winners. I know not all the UK. Listen, there's so many of them. My little brain can only handle so much that it just kicks, some information out. But yeah, I wouldn't be able to name you half the winners now.
I mean, there's been a lot.
You could name a name, and I'd be like, she competed?
Yeah, I know. Yes. Well, I mean, I always have to ask. I know it's only been 2 episodes, but who's winning Canada season 6?
I think it's still too early to tell. Who I want to win right now.
Okay, so it's maybe too early to tell for a winner, but top 4.
Okay. Putting my producer thinking cap on. As much as I would love Dulce to win, I want to see her in the finale because I think we need that representation, and I think she is a really good performer. I don't think she'll make it there, just because, like you said, her runways, I think, and her looks are going to be her downfall. I think PM, because we need a crazy cuckoo cunty queen up there. Caramel. She has a polish. Ebony, obviously, because speaking of polish, actually, probably Ebony over Caramel. Love Caramel, but I hate to say it.
Okay.
The white gothic bitch. I'm sorry, Van Goth.
That was 4.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just trying to think of the other queens and see if I would change any of them. But yeah, no, Saltina.
Okay. I think that I see Ebony, so I would have to say Ebony in the bow. I think Ebony is going to surprise us. And I'm super excited for maybe a dance challenge, maybe a girl group challenge. I think that's what she's going to shine through. I have to put Hazel in there. I think Hazel is getting some really impactful confessionals. I think she is there's a storyline developing there. I think so too. Obviously Van Gogh. Van Gogh will be the villain of this season. She is going to be there, and she's going to be in every single episode causing so much drama. And then my 4th one, I think it surprisingly, and this is even surprising myself, as much as I want Caramel to be in the top 4, I think she's probably going to be 5 and come just right there, and it's probably going to be a lip sync, but probably between her and Ebony the Bell, because they have both of them in the finale. I think the 4th spot for me is going to be
two black queens in the finale.
I mean, it's problematic, but it happens. And I think the 4th queen is going to be Sammy Landry. For some reason, I feel like Sammy Landry is going to come up from behind the pack and surprise all of us.
Performance, if there's a lot of acting and comedy challenge, actually I can't even say that because she kind of fucked this one up.
She did.
But if there's challenges where she gets to really show the queen she is, I think yes, she could easily make it there. But if it's a lot of design.
All right. Well, friends, drop in the comments who you think is going to be the top 4. Who do you think is winning? This has been our recap of Canada's Drag Race Season 6, Episode 2. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a single episode of No Ma'am. And until next time, bye, y'all.